Similar setups. I didn't think John Deere would do that.
No, neither do I.
And it's a change from their first game. Oh,
It's
they're trying to
a
counter.
two-loader setup with the with that is slightly odd.
Yeah. Now this is whether or not you can lock out 3 harvesters, 3 balers.
And away they go.
They are going all over the place.
John Deere are heading for a baler straight off. They're heading for the New Holland baler, which is an interesting choice. A good all-rounder. The ideal has been grabbed by John Deere, while
Grimme
the case has been grabbed by Grimme.
Yeah.
New Holland combine grabbed by John Deere.
Okay.
Nobody, I know, and Grimme have the John Deere combine. So 2 combines each, straight off the bat. And John Deere are trying to grab another baler.
They are straight in. Grimme are on it. So fairly evenly matched. Both teams got balers, both teams got 2 harvesters. This is going to be a grind through.
So no obvious advantage or disadvantage
nothing
for
off the start.
either team. Straight off the start.
This will come down to timing of grain drops, what power play you get.
Now this is an interesting choice by John Deere to go and get that without baling that side up first. I realise they're getting it in position. I suppose they don't have to, if they've got the, so they've got the Fem baler, so they don't have to worry too much about how quickly they can get bales out, because they have the fastest baler available and can deal with that. So, in fact, there are no disadvantages to either team. John, is that Crone baler taken? I don't think that Crone baler's taken.
Is it still setting the black? No, it's
Grimme have left the Crone baler open. Sorry, the Coon baler open.
It's sitting on amber, isn't it?
And I just wonder if John Deere are about to grab it.
They're using one there.
I think they've realised. I think, yes, they have realised. I don't think they're going to be quick enough. That is going to be the first mistake, I think. Because you need, if you're running 2 harvesters and you've got a lot of straw on the ground, in the dying moments you need 2 balers.
You do. You need to keep them coming.
And interestingly, John Deere, I don't think have grabbed it. Yeah, you can see with the dots that it is still sitting on its point. And I think Grimme have realised their mistake, because no, he has got it.
Still sitting there, it's weird.
I realise it would throw out even slightly their strategy, or their timings, but both teams have just driven past that baler.
Yeah.
And we've seen what a huge handicap only having 2 balers, only having 1 baler in the dying moments can be. So I am very shocked by that. Although having said that, when you've got transport company, it may not be such a handicap.
No, probably not, because you can just keep baling for longer. But like I say, still in those dying moments, what teams will do is drop off the transport company, the auto-load trailer, and they will then just use the balers. So you do need it. Someone will realise at some point they're bound to. Either one team will block it out or the other team will collect it. But
yeah, it is still sitting there on that podium.
So very similar strategy so far. They seem to be, following through whatever their game plan is. This will come down to when the drone drop happens, multipliers, and the grain drop.
So here, John Deere coming down to come and start baling up this down here. And as I said before, this Fem baler is a quick baler to do this with.
Not the best position for that tractor to be left in.
I'm also slightly surprised that they've put the Marci with the front loader on the front of the grain cart rather than the tractor that can drive through all the crops.
Yeah, they may switch later on. You often find them switching on and off vehicles as they get to certain points. Maybe it's part of what they've planned. Grimme are just going off to get their auto-load trailer now. You can just see at top left.
Yeah, and starting to load up with some bales. Looks like John Deere are doing their first empty. Now, which team has the ideal? I think the ideal combine. This is John Deere, I think, have the ideal combine.
Yeah.
So they are in a position where they're not loading quite as much, but they can go for longer with it. The teams both starting to collect bales up now. We are just under 10 minutes, so it's the time when teams start to drop off one harvester, let it unload while they're using the other one, and they start getting bales back with this transport company.
I think at the moment, Grimme do seem to be a little bit behind on bale collection, only a fraction. And they do have the Krona baler, so they can use that to good advantage later. Oh, sorry, John Deere a little bit behind. Grimme have got more on, yeah.
Which is interesting, as Grimme went and picked up their bale stacker after John Deere did. Mm. So they managed to get a lot more bales on there a lot quicker, which is a little bit strange. They must be running a little bit faster.
Both teams chatting away to each other, huge concentration. Nobody wants to be the team that goes out now.
We are swiftly approaching the drone drop point. I think both teams actually would be happy with a bale bonus drop.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
well,
you can still do grain later, can't you? But I think the bonus.
I think a grain bonus would actually play to Grimme more. They've got harvesters that can get more grain. Yeah. They can get grain in faster. So as a result, they are likely at that point to have more grain.
I think this is going to be a war of attrition. I honestly think both teams are going to counter each other in the grain drop. They're both running similar setups, similar amounts. I really think it's just going to come down to how many bales you can get in. And if any mistakes happen, that's when you're going to have issues.
And here, Grimme are going for the first points on the board, as they tend to when they're getting stuff in like this, which makes actually makes a lot of sense. You've got it on the front of your tractor. You might as well get those extra few points, deny it to the other team. There we go, points on the board for Grimme, 40 points, because it is the first bale into the top. Oh,
he needs to get off there quick.
He does need to get off there very quick.
It's quite surprising how many teams we see doing that, approaching the bridges with that loader open. Okay, so about halfway around when the drone drop can happen, I think Grimme are just saying, you know what, let's get them on.
I think Grimme actually might be lining themselves up ready, so the moment that first one drops, they can just pick it up and plonk it on. Yeah. Yep. So they're prepping. This is a setup that we've seen Trailball do an awful lot.
Yep.
Have everything exactly in the position for this drop, and here they go. So John Deere are going for bales.
They've got it.
And they grabbed it. So we have 2 minutes of bonuses, and you can see immediately Grimme are in a better position on that drop, even by a couple of seconds.
Yeah. We used to see John Deere used to load up 3 for the start and have it in the same similar position. They would get 3 on. Yeah, Grimme seem to have a slight edge here. Both teams have got the same advantage. This is just going to be getting as many bales in with no mistakes.
Interesting to see how well Grimme were lined up. They got their bales in later than John Deere.
Unless John Deere had already had a stack on the belt. They may already have a stack on the belt when we got to watch it.
I can only think that they were. So 150 to 160. So this is really even.
Back and forth.
This is going to be decided, I think, on either what they've got in the wheat or in the dying seconds of this.
Yeah.
Because both teams are very evenly matched. They're both loading stuff at the same time. Neither of them has done anything particularly that counters the other yet.
No, they are literally bouncing within 10 points of each other backwards and forwards at the moment.
It could be that initial point score by Grimme is the thing that decides it.
Those 40 points.
Those 40 points, you know, it's worth having. Even though it's not the maximum multiplier, it's worth having the first bale on.
Yeah, but they need to, whichever team drops their grain first, the other team needs to counter it immediately.
Now, John Deere are continually supplying bales. Are Grimme doing the same thing? It looks like they might be. And John,
this is too tight to go. They're just getting points in anywhere.
Yeah. So 400 to 500 points, and John Deere are out of bales, and that is the end of the bonus. So 60 points in it.
It's down to grain.
That's not a huge amount.
It's not a huge amount. Still 4.5 minutes to play. Now we're going to see the grain start taking effect.
Right. So have John Deere had that Fendt Ideal combine? Have they had it out longer?
No, right, Grimme are off. They've got 29,688. How much have John Deere got?
Are we going to see what John Deere's got?
And they need to counter quickly. And this is what we said before. This is where Grimme made a mistake when they played in their last match against Trelleborg. As soon as they start dumping this grain, they've got to get bales on that belt, because John Deere are right up behind them.
I think Grimme have more grain in their trailer. So they're going to take an early load on here. Now they need to start.
See, now you want your advantage. You want bales on that belt.
And I'm looking, and there is nobody down at Grimme's barn.
And now John Deere are going to counter.
And John Deere are immediately going to counter. And this is the thing. This is the point at which Grimme should be scoring points.
Yeah.
Should be loading bales, scoring the maximum points they can, because this counter is going to reduce the maximum points they can score off.
It's probably going to end fairly level, I think.
Oh, is it? I think it might be. Oh, yes.
Exactly level again.
John Deere have leveled
this is down to bales now. This is getting them in. They didn't take advantage of it. They dropped their grain. They should have had bales on the belt, but they may not have had any ready there anyway.
Yeah.
So this is now attrition. This is
now down to stacking. Who can get bales on the stack faster, and which team can keep their stacker?
Oh, keep their stacker supplied. Yeah.
And it looks to me like there are more bales there for Grimme at the moment than there are for John Deere, because there's 10 there for John Deere and 12. Which is.
So John Deere do have the advantage at the moment. No, it's level. This is going to come down to mistakes.
This is.
If any bales drop, if they fall off the conveyor belt, they can't afford to make mistakes now.
No.
There's things like that will cost the game. They've got a lot of bales there. They just need to get them on that belt.
They have the bale advantage. They've got 2 minutes to load all this on, and they need to keep these bales flowing. These bales just have to keep coming in now, because if John Deere ends up sitting there without bales,
that's what they need.
They're
hoping for that.
That's what they're absolutely.
I can't see John Deere letting that happen. They're going to be all over this. Oh, we're going for break. Oh no, we're going to go for 4 then.
I don't think that's a wise.
Probably not the best time to do that.
So 140 points in at the moment. So John Deere are being more efficient with their stacking.
They are. And finishing up before the grain drop with that slight advantage.
With a minute on the clock, they must be short on straw, because they're still harvesting. So there we go, 580 to 700.
120 points
John
in
Deere
it.
bringing more bales in.
Grimme is okay.
But they are sitting
100 points.
100 points in it. Oh man, minute left on the clock. And
you haven't got time to be double stacking now.
No,
Put them on one at a time.
This is the point where double stacking is just too much of a risk.
And this is what John Deere do very well. 1 bale at a time, accurate, fast, get them on. A double stacking wastes time now. You want to just get as many on as you can.
And Grimme are making a good choice.
They've got more bales there.
A good choice.
Get them on.
Of filling up that chrome baler and just loading those into the bottom. I don't think they've got enough time to get another load in like that. John Deere is sitting there.
So this is where they can come back.
This is the point. John Deere are absolutely going mad trying to get bales in.
Have Grimme got enough sitting there? Don't double stack. Get him on the belt. No, this shouldn't have done this.
80. No, the double stacking is a mistake. And as it,
just get him.
Oh,
another close one. I don't think they can do it.
They need more bales to turn up. They're not going to turn up.
John Deere are going to get some more.
It's going to be a 30. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, wow. Good game.
Wow.
Wow. Again, few small mistakes by Grimme.
Yeah.
A couple of decisions that possibly, if they'd gone the other way.
I think the double stacking at the end, when you're desperately trying to get bales in, just get them on the conveyor.
Just be quick.